In a remote Indian forest village, a young boy known as Kid lives with his mother Neela, whose bedtime stories of Hanuman fill his imagination. Years later, Kid survives in the shadows of Yatana, earning a living in a brutal underground boxing ring known as Tiger's Temple. Disguised in a monkey mask, he is paid to lose. Kid hatches a plan, sending a local boy to spy on Queenie Kapoor, the sharp and calculating manager of the Kings. With the intel, he arranges for a fake street vendor to swipe Queenie's purse. But instead of keeping it, Kid returns the stolen purse to her, playing innocence and claiming he found it abandoned on the street. Impressed by his honesty, Queenie offers him money, but Kid declines. Instead, he insists on a job. Reluctantly, Queenie agrees. Kid was a mysterious person, as if he had a motive in joining the Kings. The next day, Kid started working as a dishwasher where he meets Alfonso, a gangster in Queenie's employ. Kid introduces himself as Bobby, taken from a cleaning product, and he befriends Alfonso. After the job, he went on the street to buy a gun. A kid takes him to the cellar, and he buys a hand pistol, preparing for what's to come. The next day, as Kid quietly served tea to Queenie, he observed everything. In a moment of casual command, Queenie called for Alfonso, instructing him to secure drugs for an important guest. Alfonso wasn't just a foot soldier, he was a key player in the Kings. Sensing an opportunity, Kid approached Alfonso with a bold proposition and tells him to come to Tiger's Temple, the underground fight club, and he'd guarantee him a winning bet. In return, all Kid wanted was a promotion, one that would unlock the doors to the elusive VIP rooms and bring him one step closer to his true objective. Alfonso reaches the Tiger's Temple, and just like Kid promised, he wins the bet. Impressed by the win, Alfonso promotes Kid to the VIP room, an exclusive shadowy space where powerful leaders from across the globe come to indulge in their wickedness. But during one of his shifts, Kid witnesses a disturbing scene, a wealthy guest forcing himself on a young woman. After seeing this, he got traumatized and started to recall his past memories that haunts him. Shaken, he rushes outside to clear his head. There, amidst the city's chaos, he finds a stray dog. In an act of quiet kindness, Kid picks up discarded food and feeds the animal. Moments later, the woman from inside steps out for a smoke. Sensing his unease, she tells him plainly that if you can't handle this, you should quit, before disappearing back inside. Every night, Kid secretly practices shooting at a remote location, refining his skills with chilling precision. It's clear he's preparing for something. Each day, the dog waits for him, and Kid never fails to bring it food, their bond growing stronger with every visit. When he's finally confident in his aim, Kid makes his move. Smuggling a gun into the heavily guarded VIP area is impossible, so he ties the gun to the dog's body. As Kid watches the dog sneak into the building, the pieces of his dangerous plan start falling into place. The day finally comes. Armed with a pistol, Kid gets in the VIP room, his gaze immediately falling on the guest trying to get intimate with a girl. He started to recall his past, where her mother is murdered in front of him at the hands of a faceless man. After getting his head right, he makes his move. He spikes cocaine with powdered bleach and hands it to the guest. After sniffing the drug, blood drips from the man's nose, sending him stumbling to the washroom. Kid gets in and aims the gun towards the person and tells him that this is for her mother. Both of them had an intense fight, exchanging fists in an intent to kill one another. He stabs Kid in the leg with a knife. Kid took the knife out and stabs him in the side of his face. As the man's guards begin breaking down the door, Kid smashes through a fish tank, slipping out of the room. On a rush, he decided to jump from the window, but fails. So he took the stairs fighting the men as he tries to escape from the building. After reaching the basement, he hides from them and sneaks to take Alfonso's auto rickshaw and steals it, tearing out of the building. Alfonso sees him and gets in the car with him, and they headed on the road. Now, the police were also chasing after them, trying to stop them, along with helicopters overhead, tracking their every move. Finally, the police manages to hit the auto rickshaw with brutal force. Alfonso manages to escape while Kid was arrested by the police and took him in the car. On the way, Kid fights the police and shoots them with their gun and jump off from the car, running away. Wounded and bleeding, he stumbles into a brothel for refuge. The guard, furious that Kid had brought police with him, attacks him with an axe. Handcuffed and barely able to defend himself, Kid fights back, biting off the man's nose in a savage struggle. The fight is cut short when police storm the building, shooting the guard and started shooting at him. After a harrowing chase, Kid is shot by police and falls into a river. But fate has other plans. He is rescued by a Hijra community who treats his wound. The next day, Kid wakes up and finds himself in a local temple, where he meets Alpha, who saved his life. Alpha, the leader of the community, warns him that the police are swarming the town in search for him. The only safe place is here, within the community's walls, where the authorities don't dare to come since they find them unsettling. Kid started to live in the temple for the time being. His memories, especially the trauma of his mother's brutal murder, refused to let him rest. To help him confront his inner demons, Alpha leads him to an ancient tree believed to have been planted by Lord Shiva. Its roots hold a rare toxin said to unlock hidden truths. Alpha then blows the toxin towards him. Kid recuperates and undergoes a spiritual awakening, guided by Alpha through a hallucinatory journey where he confronts the trauma of his mother's death. Their peaceful days are shattered when Baba Shakti, a ruthless guru turned political mogul, sets his sights on the villagers' land. Rana Singh, the corrupt local police chief, leads a brutal assault on the village, slaughtering its people. Neela hides Kid before Rana discovers her. As Kid watches helplessly, his mother is murdered and her body burned before his eyes, leaving him with burned hands and a soul consumed by rage. Reborn with a sense of purpose, Kid trains in combat alongside the Hijra and vows to defend the marginalized from the tyranny of Baba and his followers. When the Hidra's sanctuary faces destruction, Kid returns to the ring at Tiger's temple, this time placing a high-stakes bet on himself. With newfound purpose and strength, he defeats the opponent with ease. His victory earns him the money needed to save Alpha's temple, but the real battle is yet to come. During Diwali, as Baba's political party celebrates a major election win at King's, Kid bleaches his monkey mask white and storms the brothel. He makes his way through the kitchen fighting the men and leaks one of the cylinder to make an explosion. As Kid bursts into Baba's private room, where the celebration is at its peak, the cylinder explodes, sending shockwaves through the building. In the chaos, Kid takes on Baba's henchmen single-handedly, launching a ferocious attack, taking down Baba's men with a vengeance-fueled fury. Despite being outnumbered, he dispatches them one by one, determined to finish what he started. But soon, Baba's reinforcements surround him. The tension mounts, until suddenly, Alpha and her Hijra warriors storm the scene, armed with improvised weapons and fierce resolve. Together, they fight back-to-back with Kid, turning the brothel into a battleground. In a bloody showdown, Queenie attempts to kill Kid, but before she can strike, Sita hits her, an exploited prostitute and ally. With his enemy down, Kid takes Queenie's severed thumb and uses it to access the VIP penthouse. Inside, Kid confronts Rana, the corrupt police chief whose reign of terror has haunted him. In a brutal fistfight, Kid, driven by fury and vengeance, overpowers Rana and mercilessly beats him to death, releasing years of pent-up rage in every blow. Finally, Kid confronts Baba Shakti, the self-proclaimed guru who has pulled the strings from the shadows. Baba reveals hidden blades in his shoes, attacking with deadly precision. But Kid turns the guru's own weapons against him, killing Baba in a final cathartic act of revenge. As Kid collapses from his wounds, his thoughts drift to Neela, his mother, and his devotion to Hanuman, the spirit that guided him through his darkest hour. Thank you for watching Movie Mind. Subscribe for more updates.